Good afternoon, good evening, good evening. Welcome once again to another session of Let's Study and Read the Scriptures. I am your speaker, older producer. And tonight we're going to speak briefly on the revolution that begins within. That's right, folks. I said the revolution. I said the revelation too. But the revolution begins within. You know that inside where the inside part where you have abandoned, left to the streets. It's time for you to revive that inner man. Again, like I said, the revolution begins within. Peace and grace, family. Peace and grace. This is your speaker, older producer. Glad to be with you all once again in the day that the Most High has made. Oh, yeah. Streaming from a new location, so if my sounds ain't cued in right, please forgive me because I'm just getting everything set up. But yeah, the revolution begins within. And what I mean by that, just look at the topics that we have been discussing the last few weeks. And what I mean by that is what did we discuss last week? Expelling demons, you know what I'm saying? And how they are to be expelled. Their background, where they came from, and how they are to be expelled. All right. And the week before that, we talked about private interpretations. Okay. And how some of these private interpretations have people living or doing certain things that are against their benefit, according to how the Most High designed everything, because that's what it's all about. It's about how he designed everything and what works best according to his designation or his design. But the thing about it all is that, you know what I'm saying, he gave us free will, you know what I'm saying, to choose. You know what I'm saying? That's why Moses said that everything was Joshua said, choose this day whom you will serve. The ones that your father served on the other side of the flood. He said, but me and my house, we're going to serve the Most High. That was Joshua. And so we all have to make that choice. You know what I'm saying? Whom we're gonna serve. But the point of it is that when you choose the right thing, your revolution begins, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's about taking your house back. Okay. It's like your house has been abandoned. You know what I'm saying? When you living in sin, when you living according to the ways of the world, it's like your house has been abandoned. You know what I'm saying? And the devil comes in and tears you up on the inside. You know what I'm saying? And what happens with that is you get everything going wrong: sicknesses, diseases, you know, personal mishaps, let's downs, disappointments, heartbreaks. You know what I'm saying? And then with all these things comes other feelings like anger and, you know, revenge and, you know what I'm saying? All these things that were not meant for man in the beginning. That's what ends up happening. So your insides you know what I'm saying, begins to look pretty rough. If you know what I'm saying, for the lack of better words. It begins to look pretty rough. You know what I'm saying? And so in order for uh this thing to be rectified, for it to be corrected, you got to take the stand. You got to take the stand to take yourself back with the knowledge of truth. You know what I'm saying? With the knowledge of truth. And I say that because, some people say, you talk about revolution and they think of the revolution on the outside of themselves. And they, want to tear the world up. And, you know what I'm saying? Tear the community up, tear the city up, tear the state up, tear the government up, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But none of these things is going to help if the inside of a person is all messed up. You know what I'm saying? Where their priorities is not in the right place. They don't know what is for their benefit and what is against their benefit. I'm talking about things that bring you life and things that bring you death. You know what I'm saying? Your soul, the inside, the real life, the eternal man, the immortal man, right? Because when the Most High made us, you know what I'm saying? He made us to be immortal. Let's get that in the Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 23. If you can go there with me right quick. The Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 23. Okay? The Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 23 reads like this. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity, right? So this is how God designed man in his own image, his image of eternity. What that means, we're not supposed to die. You know what I'm saying? Technically, our soul doesn't die, but he has made us overall with the flesh to be eternal. Okay. Verse 24 says, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. And they that do hold of his side do find it. Okay. So you have one who created life and created man in his image to be eternal. And then you have another being, okay, this devil, out of his jealousy, decided to destroy the creation of the Most High. Now, this is what's I would say cut and dry type thing. This devil, in order to do so, he had to use his manipulation. He had to use tricks in order for this process to happen, the destruction of man, that death came into the world. He had to use destruction. And he had to use manipulation. In other words, he had to get the person, he had to get man to turn on himself. You know what I'm saying? In other words, when I say turn on himself, meaning go against his design, go against the commandments of God. Because when you go against the commandments of God, that's exactly what you're doing. You're going against your design. You know what I'm saying? Because he designed us in a certain way to live a certain manner for our benefits. And when we go against it, you know what I'm saying, we destroy ourselves. So it's all by choice that this happens, not by uh, 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 some kind of manufactured action, but by our own choices. You know what I'm saying? Does this destruction take place? And so, in order for us to, you know what I'm saying, take hold of ourselves, we need the knowledge of truth, real knowledge, the true knowledge, you know what I'm saying, that can save man's soul. The knowledge that the Messiah brought to the earth. Now, during time, over time, you know what I'm saying, men have watered down the truth of God. They watered down the message of the Messiah, namely because they rejected it. They still wanted to do some of the things that they wanted to do. They didn't want to give up certain things. You know what I'm saying? And in this way of truth, you have to give up the things that were not for your benefit, that you were told was for your benefit. You know what I'm saying? That manipulation that the devil brought into the world, that had you to choose the wrong things. This has been going on for a long time. You know what I'm saying? For a long time. And so, therefore, in order for us to become the man or the woman that God had created us to be, we need to take back ourselves through the knowledge of truth, through the real knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We need to have a revolution within. Because a lot of people, man, they straight toe up on the inside. They might not even know it. And you know what I'm saying? It's a word that partner of mine use sometimes. What's the word that he calls it? Cognitive dissonance. I think that's the word that he called it. Cognitive dissonance. Whereas they don't believe nothing is wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? And that they got everything together. Maybe they got, real decent job. You know what I'm saying? Nice place, nice home, laid out, pretty decent furniture. They may even have a nice significant other, you know what I'm saying, in their life. And they both got, decent careers and the things of that nature. To them, in their mind, what else could they be doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? What else could be more wrong than that? You know what I'm saying? On the outside, everything looks beautiful. But in the inside, and that's why we need the knowledge of truth. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says, the truth shall set you free. You know what I'm saying? The truth shall set you free, not a lie, not make believe, not anything that the scribes made up, not a private interpretation, but the truth set you free. John says, but he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be manifest, that they are wrought in God. Okay? But we need the truth. that's the most important of it all. You know what I'm saying? We need the truth. And so my elaborations uh concerning, some particular things that, some people may find uh brand new. And that's the only way I can put it to them. It seems like a brand new doctrine when this doctrine was around since the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? As I said, the scribes rejected the truth. I pointed out before how the scribes, by their false pen, wrote down some wrong things. And so men did some wrong things. Simple as that. Thinking that they was doing the law. You know what I'm saying? And then when the Messiah came and he began to lay down some of the truth, you had some that believed and you had some that didn't. You had some Pharisees that accepted the truth. You had some Pharisees that didn't. And then you have the Apostle Peter warning the saints about somebody that's having private interpretation. That was during his time. That wasn't a future prophecy. That was right then in his time. That's what you know what I'm saying? You need to understand. That was during his time. We said somebody was having some private interpretations. Right? So how you going to take back yourself if you don't know the truth or if you reject the truth? Let's get to John 17:17. It says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is the truth. Right? Thy word and the truth. That word is the truth. Right? We just read that God didn't invent death. It was the devil that brought death into the world. You know what I'm saying? So how can you be clean if you still putting death in your body? How? How is that possible? You know what I'm saying? You putting corruption in your body. The thing that God did not create, the thing that God did not do, and somehow you're holy because you believe. Now I'm not telling you not to believe, because that's a good thing that you do believe. But as James the apostle says, the devil believes and he even trembles. You know what I'm saying? But we have to operate in truth for that belief to be valid. You know what I'm saying? And so I laid out several things for a person to look at. You know what I'm saying? Some of my previous videos. You know what I'm saying? You hear all the time, that is a big thing right now. The revolution. And we're gonna have a revolution, right? Revolution. Black people tired of being down. Revolution. Right? But when we refer back to Deuteronomy 28, you know what I'm saying, and we look at the signs that would be on the people, it's something we missing in that. You know what I'm saying? The revolution ain't gonna take place until we get it right. And I'm talking about the revolution within. You know what I'm saying? Because then the Messiah says, the kingdom of God is within. So the revolution has to take place within. So you got to know the truth. The revival of the children of Israel's got to come from within. We got to get the things within. And if we're putting corruption in our body, it ain't gonna take place. It's gonna be halfway fiddle or fizzle. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna be holy, and it ain't gonna be of whole truth. This is for at least the people that believe, because you got some people who don't believe at all. I mean, they just really at the bottom end with that one. You know what I'm saying? But let's get this John 8 and 32. It says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Right? He said, then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Right? Now, he already told us to seek and find. You know what I'm saying? Because he said they would uh um you know, he knew that they would hide some of his teachings. You know what I'm saying? That the truth would not be found on the surface, right? So we had to seek and find, right? He says, ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Luke 11 and 9. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be open unto you. Right? Then what need have we to seek if it's right there in the open? What needs, and I say that again, what needs do we have if it's right there in the open? Right? So we have to seek the things, you know what I'm saying? That's for our, the truth. Right? And so we commanded to do that. And that's what we've been doing. Right? And so in seeking, we find that, you know, the Most High never gave man permission to eat animals. That's one. Never did. We find that the false pens of the scribes misled people. We see that in Jeremiah 8 and 8. Reiterates that in Jeremiah 7 and 21, telling exactly what was written wrong in the law. You get around to the New Testament, you have someone who claims to be an apostle, a 13th apostle, if you will, and that he has jurisdiction over the Gentiles. I demonstrated in a video, private interpretations, that indeed Peter was sent to the Gentiles by God. That's what he said in Acts. Peter was sent to the Gentiles. Is that my phone? Always when I get on. always, always. Uh, anyways, I have to call him back. What is this? Hold on. Yeah. So, anyways, we gotta get back with them on later. You know what I'm saying? But uh, so so maybe they was trying to warn me something was wrong with my audio, because I do see that I have here a problem here. So maybe they was trying to warn me. Okay. If that was the case, yo, thank you very much. I didn't get to answer your call, but thank you very much if it was trying to warn me about the audio problem, because it looks like maybe that might have been the case. Okay. Uh wow. So maybe I need to repeat some of the things that I said. Either that or I would do this again tomorrow. But I don't want to lose my train of thought, you know what I'm saying? Um Improving that, you know, to take back self, in order to take back self from these demons, basically, because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the hard truth. It's some hard truths in this thing, yo. I'm just gonna be frank with y'all. It's some hard truths in this walk. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be willing to face it. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, yo, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? What do I need to do? You know what I'm saying? So I can, don't have these problems. You know what I'm saying? You wanna be as close to what the Messiah said as possible, if not 100%, you know what I'm saying? At least close as what you can. If you know what I'm saying, in the teachings that, these things going to have this kind of effect on you, that you're allowing evil spirits in your world by taking parts of certain things. That's the first thing you want to do is get rid of them things, yo. So the last thing you want to do is hold on to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show that maybe you in agreement and you like, having these things around. And you should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You know, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they talk about wanting to be free, but once they really know the truth, do you really want to be free? Or do you want to continue down this route that's worldly pleasurable? That's the only way I could put it. It's pleasurable in a worldly sense. Why is that? Because innocent lives are dying. You're feeding on it. And God never created us to feed on animals. Animals that was not their created purpose to be our food. That is such a big deal. I mean, people put it so on such a low scale of importance. But it was so important that many prophets got killed over this thing, warning people, telling them, you know what I'm saying? This is what you got to do. Got to put away these things. I mean, that wasn't the only thing that was, needed to be corrected on, the multiple wife things, all these kind of things, you know what I'm saying? Multiple wives, multiple women, you know, fornication, adultery was heavy, divorce and remarrying. I mean, it was just so many different things that were doing wrong, and even to the day, still I've been doing wrong. You know, the church say, I ain't gonna say some churches, not all churches will play that, but a lot of churches allow where you can divorce and remarry. But the Savior said, whoever do that, he makes it the woman to commit adultery. How many remarried people are in the world today that really is an adulterous situation? So it's not just some people say, oh, you talked about eating animal. Nah, that's just one major, one big major one that I talk about a lot because it got almost everybody fooled. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the Pauline doctrine, you know what I'm saying? The quote unquote Pauline doctrine saying that he can eat whatever and all this kind of stuff. But we have to deep dive into the scriptures to see that, that was in private interpretation. That was his own thing. You know what I'm saying? He went against the apostles' words and he was just doing his own thing with that. You know what I'm saying? Bobbing and weaving out of the truth. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, misleading a lot of people. If you are having problems viewing this video, I apologize. I'm getting messages that some of the frames are dropping. So again, like I said, I'm streaming with a new service, a new internet service provider. So I don't know how good it is. So just hoping for the best. Um, yeah, but I know in a minute. But yeah, this is what I wanted to say today. I really didn't have anything put together, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to reiterate the things that I spoke about recently, and that these things bring about a revolution within. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it begins at within. I'm telling you, it's so many people that's toe up on the inside, you know what I'm saying, that don't know the truth, that believe they have the truth and just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes these things manifest either through, you know, heartbreak or when they're angry, you know what I'm saying? And then these demons show themselves. I'm talking about people who believe in God, you know what I'm saying? They believe in God, and they claim this and that. But as soon as they get angry, you know what I'm saying? You see that demon coming out of them, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll tell off. But then in their mind, they're still, was it quote, saved, sanctified, and all this and all that. But let them, get angry, heartbreaking, or something like that, and that demon manifests itself. Usually, some of y'all seen, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, but in order to really take hold of yourself again, you got to clean yourself out. You know what I'm saying? And don't return to the things that destroys your inside, feeding yourself death. You know what I'm saying? Dead animals, committing fornication or adultery, any of those type of things. You know what I'm saying? And how do you do these things? Fasting, fasting and praying. I'm talking about fasting for a couple of days at a time, several days at a time. Back in the days when the apostles would convert, you know what I'm saying, those, they would have them to fast for a few days, you know what I'm saying, before they accept them. And then before they did that, they had to follow them for a while. In other words, follow their teachings and see that if they were willing to accept the teachings, the true teachings, because it's full of discipline. You know what I'm saying? I mean, self discipline. You know what I'm saying? Where you agree to live in a certain manner of life. You know, and then after a while, they will watch them and see, okay, yeah, they with it. Then they go fast a few days, and then won't receive their baptism, and that's how it was. And then there was, saying, say an oath that this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Promise that you would never turn back from it. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, the revolution is within. It's not about all this tearing up the streets and things like that. It's about within. If every man, every woman begins the revolution on the inside, then you're going to really see a change in the world. And I'm talking about, this is across all nations. This is across all races. This is across the whole spectrum of people, mankind. You know what I'm saying? Because every man is your neighbor, and not just, you know what I'm saying, inclined to people of your own race or whatnot. Every man is your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to end this briefly today because, like I said, I'm just relocating and got a new service and all that. So I don't know how is it playing good. No, I know in a few minutes. But this is what I wanted to bring to the table today. Think revolution. Think within, cleaning your inside out. This is what the real revolution is. It's kicking the demon and all these terrible bad things on the inside out. And then you will truly be living in a revolution. Again, this is Older Producer. You know what I'm saying? Saying to those who have the peace within them to receive the truth. To you I say, peace and grace. Till next time.